Welcome to Stirring the Pot podcast, a podcast all about discussing controversial food subjects, historical aspects of food, and pretty much everything else cooking and food related. To get things started, let me introduce my co-hosts. First up, we have Mr. Barbecue Brand, an aficionado of all things barbecue and a recently featured guest on Food Network's Barbecue USA. Welcome, Barbecue Brand.
What's cooking, everybody? I'm pulled up tonight. A little something light. Let's take flight.
Second up, we have Mr. Brandon D., a connoisseur of Louisiana and Southern cuisine and a self-proclaimed food science nerd. Welcome, Brandon D.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening in. Let's get this started. I'm staying dry tonight because I have to work tomorrow.
I'll drink a little bit for you, B. It's all good.
Yeah. pour some on the ground for me, man.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work.
There you go.
I am your host, KCP. I am a baking and cooking enthusiast and a lover of all Southern culture, history, and cuisine. Tonight's topic is all about the subtle art of tailgating. We want to cover everything to make sure you have a successful and safe time celebrating your favorite team. Let's jump right into prepping for the big event. So how do we get this started, guys? What's the most important thing when we're prepping?
I'd say you got to start off with equipment. I mean, that's the big thing. What are you bringing? What cooking equipment are you bringing? How that cooking equipment's power? What's your heat source? And how are you going to transport it? Because those things can be heavy.
Yeah, equipment is very important because that's going to tell you everything that you need to know about how your day is going to go. You have to know your equipment, know what you're bringing, how you're going to get it there, how to power it, how to work it, how many people you have coming. We're going to cover all of these things.
Yeah.
Right.
So what are some of these big equipment items that you would normally bring if you're going to a tailgating at the stadium?
Well, you want to think about what's going to be your heat source. I mean, you can have propane or you can have gas. And if you have a generator, you can have electric. But I'd strongly recommend propane or charcoal. I don't think you really want to fool with the generator, power your pellet smoker. But I've never tried it. But the problem with a generator is most people's generators are gas, and handling gasoline is always a little bit tricky. You got to be real safe about it. But they do make some propane powered generators too that run off propane or gasoline.
I have to say the same thing, propane or charcoal. Most of the time you're going to see charcoal out. You have to figure out how you're going to get it there, how big that equipment is, how heavy it is. Most pits, if you don't have a trailer, if you're just toting something in the truck, most of the pits, like Old Smokies and, Weber kettles, those things are really
good choices.
Light. Yeah. That's the best thing for you to use is just to use something that's light, something that you can throw some charcoal in and get it lit and just get it rolling. They'll cook
old school style on it.
At Sam's, I saw a really small, a decently sized portable flat top cooker. I was pretty impressed by it. I mean, I think it was like a 24-inch cooker or something like that. So that's not a bad size.
Yeah, those are getting really popular too.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has those flat tops. And for tailgating, if you're cooking burgers, you're doing some smash burgers or even some chicken. If you got something that you can kind of hold that chicken down, if you got them pressed out or something like that. Hashtag thighs.
Hashtag
you already know.
Thighs without the bone.
There you go.
The plus of a flat top, if you're doing burgers, you can cook burgers way faster on a flat top than
absolutely.
the pit. So that's your advantage there. Direct heat contact, you can really crank out a lot of burgers.
Oh yeah.
And with that, I mean, it depends on what time of day you go. You could get creative. I mean, if you go early enough, you could crank out some breakfast on those little flat top grills too.
Correct. Yes.
Excellent point.
Everybody loves breakfast.
Yes, especially on a flat top. Breakfast on a flat top, the possibilities are endless.
It's like bringing Waffle House home with you.
Yeah. Pancakes, eggs, and bacon all on the same cooking surface, so you can't beat that.
Minus the ratchetness in fights,
Well,
hopefully, before the beer comes up. Before the beer comes up.
Depends on the tailgating that you plan on doing.
I think to work at a Waffle House, you have to serve some time,
Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with Waffle House, just so we clear.
Yeah. No, Waffle House is
Waffle
pretty.
House be hitting,
It is pretty good, I have to
and
say.
sometimes in both aspects of that word, sometimes it be hitting.
I'm gonna have to get some connections and get Waffle House to sponsor my next tailgate.
Right.
You know,
Hey, Waffle
Hey,
House.
hey, I can tell you one thing: Waffle House kicks the hell out of IHOP. It really does. It's much better food.
It's that extra ratchetness it got. It's that level of danger at Waffle House that makes it so much better. Everything's a little more it's a little better when it's a little more dangerous, right?
that's right.
You don't have to go there at 3 a.m. I mean, that's your choice.
That food got a little pain in it. You know, it's just it always come out better.
Well, with that, going back to what we need for these cooking vessels. So obviously, if we're going to be using charcoal grill, we're going to need charcoal. We're going to need propane if you bring in that along.
And what about extra tanks?
Right. And what about frying? Are you going to do that on site, or are we going to do that beforehand?
Well, you could. I mean, they make propane fryers that work pretty well. So, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. They're not that heavy. You know, they make some really nice ones. Yeah, I mean, frying's definitely a possibility to tailgate, but you want to have a good setup for it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You want to make sure that you plan that ahead of time.
Yeah,
you know,
it's got to be planned out.
If you're frying, you got propane out there, you got grease. How many people are you cooking for? Who's all going to be there? You know, some people you can't trust around grease.
Right, yeah.
No.
There's kids around too. That's also another kind of consideration. The good thing about frying is it allows you, if you're cooking for a crowd, it allows you to cook food really quick. So you can cook a lot of food very fast.
Right.
And that's the advantage of crank it out.
Don't they have those really cool, like, little Coleman stove things that, not the camping stove, but like the bigger ones that have like the longer legs? Don't they make those now?
They do.
That's perfect for tailgating.
Yeah,
I mean,
little burners.
Yeah, they also make portable. I mean, you can get portable burners and cook. You know, like cook whatever you want. You know, so you have make like 3-burner portable cooking appliances. So you can use those too. Those work great.
Yeah, I have one in the box. I hadn't even opened it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I got it at one of my competitions as a door prize, and I just hadn't had a reason to break it out. But since it's tailgate season, it might be the perfect time to break that thing out. It has legs. I think it's a double burner, but it's pretty big. It's a king cooker.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
That's
might
that's
be a good idea to do a little demo for our subscribers.
Hey, let's do it.
Little cooking short on the new, breaking out the new equipment.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So new equipment is always fun. You got to do something cool, you know.
Always. So,
there's also black pots. You know, people come out with black pots.
Right,
you know,
right.
If you're cooking for a lot of people, you know, especially down here in the South, you know, people have 13, 15, 20, 30-gallon black pots that they're out there cooking with, which you're going to need propane for also in a burner. You know, that's really easy to cook a lot of stuff. You know, cook a good bit of food for a lot of people too.
Right, exactly.
Now you can fry in black pots too, right? If you so choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Just wanted to make that clarification.
Oh yeah.
What about, we're talking proteins here, like marinating, making sauces? That's all stuff we need to do ahead of time, right? Because we don't want to do that on site.
No, you don't want to do any marinating or really any food prep on, like any raw meat prep on site. You want all your food packaged cold and ready to go. So if you have meat that you want to cook, you know, put it in Ziploc bags, put it in aluminum trays if you want. You know, put that in your ice chest. Have an ice chest dedicated for just your raw meat, and that way you can just go out there and cook. You don't want to have. Oh, I gotta season the chicken before I cook it. You want that all done ahead of time. So planning is really, really important when it comes to tailgating.
Yeah, planning is super important because the more you plan, the more food you have the ability to cook. I mean, I've gone to tailgates. I've been a part of tailgate crews where we've, you know, cooked ribs. We've done wings. We've done oysters. We've done all kind of stuff. And it's all about how you prep. So all the stuff that you do ahead of time at your house, that allows you to be able to kind of crank some of that food out and not have to worry about cutting up chicken, you know, wings and trying to do all of these things while you're there. You do it ahead of time.
Right. You don't want to be handling too much raw protein. You have to make sure that you have things to clean your hands too, sanitizers, water, soap, things like that. So you have to think about that. How much raw meat do I want to handle? All I want to do is take the tongs, pull it out the bag, put it on the grill, the cooking appliance. That's it. There's a strategy that the Army uses. It's called backwards planning. what you do instead of planning what I need to buy first, you plan, hey, when do I want everything cooked by? And then you say, well, what do I have right now? And then you plan out those days, those middle steps. You plan out, what do I need to do to accomplish those steps by this time with what I have on hand? So that'll give you a good guide. It's a little different way of planning things. I use it for my job, for work. It just makes a little more sense sometimes to say, hey, I need this. And I use it for cooking all the time too. Hey, I said, I want a brisket done at 1:00 Sunday afternoon. That means I have to start, on Friday cooking. I can't start on Saturday because there's a minimum time requirement that it's going to take. So
that's such a great concept. I've never heard of that term before. I didn't know they had a term for it. You
right.
call it, is that backwards planning, you say?
Backwards or reverse planning. That's, you pick your goal first and then you work backwards to where you need to achieve that goal.
That's awesome. I teach this all the time and I practice it as well. I just never knew there was an actual term for it. I mean, when it comes to my competitions, you have to backwards plan. You have things that's due at a certain time and you don't have a lot of grace period for it. And that's a really good point for people that's cooking long cooks like brisket. A lot of times people are just cooking that and they're at the jam up time and people are hungry at 9:00 at night and that brisket just hit the stall. Guess what? You got to order pizza, partner.
Yeah,
that's not going to be done.
It's not. It most certainly is not.
This is when the appetizers need to come into play. All the little finger foods before you have the main deal that comes out. This is a perfect time for that. When people getting hungry, give them something to eat.
It's always good to have finger foods and appetizers beforehand. If you're doing something like barbecue, which can be a little bit of a time sink, you really want to have something out people can snack on.
So I'm going to lead into our part 2, the tailgating favorites. So we just touched a little bit on appetizers. What are some of your favorite appetizers that go along with tailgating?
I like jalapeno poppers. I think are a good one. They're easy to cook. They cook real fast. You throw them on like a grill, either whatever you have, and they cook in like 20 minutes. They don't take very long. And they're really good.
Yeah, jalapeno poppers, sausage.
Yes, sausage.
That's always a crowd pleaser. Get some good sausage. You always get an array of sausage. Or if you're down here, some of that boudin.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one.
There is nothing better than boudin on the grill.
Yes,
that pop
indeed.
when you take that first bite.
Oh,
so good. So good. Okay, jumping back into this finger foods. What about dips? Do y'all have any favorite
queso?
dips?
Queso's always good.
Queso.
You're gonna have to have something to keep it warm though, because it'll turn into a block of cheese again.
This is true.
Well, so there's a recipe out there, and I think Meat Church made it pretty popular, where you just kind of throw all your stuff together in some type of pan. You can use a disposable pan if you want. Some Velveeta, a little bit of Gouda. A can of Rotel. There's I forgot exactly what's all in the recipe. It's not much more though. It's not much more at all. And you just throw it all in there, throw it on the pit, and you just stir it every 15 minutes. It's done in an hour. And even after it kind of cools down, it's still creamy.
Nice.
So that's a really good dip to have. So you can definitely do that smoked queso or you can
always use like a little bit of heavy cream or milk or something like that, and that'll keep it liquid.
Keep it liquidy. Now HEB over here everything's better. HEB has these little trays that you could pop into the oven or anywheres where it's heat proof, right? And it's brisket queso. So it just like you warm it up and it's just all delicious and gooey.
Queso.
And this is true. HEB actually does a pretty good brisket. When they used to have their restaurants in the store, their brisket actually was really good. I mean, they outdid probably 95% of the restaurants for brisket.
Wow.
So, yeah, they really did. It was really, really good. They had started one of the locations had like a little restaurant in it, and just like a counter service kind of thing, and they had really good stuff.
They did.
But I guess it wasn't popular. I guess you don't choose HEB as your destination for dinner. You get stuff for dinner. You don't go there for dinner. If that came out right.
Well, all I know is HEB would have all of my money if I lived there. Yeah,
Oh,
all
they
of it.
they
Just
have
take it.
all hours.
Yeah, it's pretty much it's our favorite grocery store. They
Yeah,
have, and they're fairly priced too. So
right. So let's just say we going extra fancy here. We have this big RV. We got all this electricity to deal with. I mean, a crock pot is always a good idea, for dips and
hmm
stuff you want to keep warm. If
chafing dish.
oh, that's true. That's true. If you
Hmm
get a
Be
chafing dish
yeah,
to
but
keep stuff warm.
be careful with those heat sources for chafing dishes. That flame can be really clear, and it can be really hard to see. Because I know I've lit one, and I was like, "Is this thing lit?" And
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just test with like a toothpick, and you'll see it's lit. It just burns really clear. So just make sure to be careful with chafing dishes because
Yeah.
they cannot show the flame.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Brandon D with the safety minute.
As always, and yeah,
Oh,
I just
you forgot about the fire extinguisher.
oh yeah, always have a fire extinguisher.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Oh, it's gonna be a lot of safety talk this episode
Oh
because
yeah,
we got some things to talk about. Trust
yeah,
that.
you can have a lot of safety issues with tailgating. So
Yeah.
fire extinguisher is always a great thing to have.
Absolutely. So just in case, it's better to be prepared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, it's better to have it and not need it than need
There
it
you
and
go.
not have it.
There you go.
Always
That is a fire
Always.
extinguisher.
plug that into whatever you're talking about.
I always say this: you are going to fail with what you have on hand. It is not going to magically appear out of thin air and be there for you when you need it. You either bring it or you don't. You'll have it or you won't.
Right.
Right. This is absolutely true. What about like some sauces that we can put out for dipping? Not dips, but like sauces, like to go with other things.
Salsa,
So
Chip
yeah,
sauce.
yeah, sauce. Yeah, that would be more of a kind of in the
The
same
dip,
realm
yeah.
as the dip.
Yeah.
When it comes to sauces and tailgating, I say go bottle.
yeah,
Make
Go
it easy
bo-
on yourself.
Make this easy. You're not you're not out here trying to impress everybody with. If you want to make a sauce ahead of time, if you
Right.
have your signature
Right.
sauce, then
Right.
go ahead and make it. But otherwise, we out here tailgating. We making burgers. We
you want to have
making
fun too.
chicken.
Don't fit-
Yeah, you don't want to just be manning the grill the entire time. You want to have
Manning
some
the
fun and
grill.
crack some beers too, and
Right.
talk and
Don't forget
bottle.
that Jack Miller sauce though.
yeah,
That Jack
man.
Miller sauce be hitting.
Jack Miller, Jack Measy. Does anybody know who he is? We need to.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Just for anybody that honestly that doesn't know, Jack Miller is a barbecue sauce that's popular in Louisiana, and it's what we would call a mop sauce, I believe, right? B.
Yeah. It would be a mop. Because it's not a barbecue sauce. It's more of like a onion chutney.
Right.
It's
It is
really what it is. Like
What?
it's,
that's a good description of it.
but it's
Yeah.
But
Jack.
yeah, that's good. You definitely want sauces. If you have your own specialty sauce, make it at a time and put it in one of those nice screw top Tupperwares that they sell. Won't leak or anything like that. So you just want to have all that stuff, what they call in French restaurants, mise en place, everything in place. You don't want to have anything
Mhm.
anything that you have to do. If you have to cook onions, if for whatever reason, honestly, you're making jambalaya or something, chili or something like that, just have those onions pre-cut in the bag. Don't waste your time cutting onions over there.
No.
No.
All that
Make
stuff
it
needs
real
to
easy.
be. Yeah, that's all supposed to be a part of planning. So, my very first competition that I ever did, and I just posted about that today, was I got flown out to Cleveland for the Sutter Home Build a Better Burger contest, and we had to basically build a gourmet burger from scratch in 1 hour. But it also had to be tailgate approved, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Friendly.
Tailgate friendly. There you go. My burger was very elaborate. Like everything was homemade. The burger was homemade itself. The patty. I made a homemade bacon jam, like a savory bacon jam.
Mm.
I made like a quick pickled red onion kind of relish for it,
Mhm.
and it was a gourmet burger. But my take on it was, you can do everything ahead of time. So everything that I made for the burger can be made at home. You can store it in the refrigerator. So whenever you
Right.
get to your place, you just kind of take everything out, throw it together. So
Pick-
the more you
yeah.
plan, the better
Right.
you are.
Pickles and jam last forever. I mean, you pickle something that's going to last in your fridge for a long time, and anything like a jam with a lot of sugar is also going to last a long time as well.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Man, that sounds good. Why you never made that for us?
Oh man, why y'all gotta bring up everything?
That's true.
Hey, look, y'all just come on back and then I'll cook y'all dinner.
There we go. No, that burger sounds really good though. It does, and I think that's, well, that brings up it's just prep work. You just have to put in the time to have stuff ready ahead of time and make it easy on yourself. Get you some good ice chests pack all that stuff up so you're not having to, you don't want to handle raw, like seasoning raw chicken at a tailgate. Where are you going to wash your hands?
Yeah, no, we're not doing all of that. We do chicken wings at our tailgate when we tailgate for the Saints. They love us to make our maple chipotle wings. We'll go out there with our chicken wings, but we already have the sauce pre-made. So we're just throwing chicken on the grill and the wings are already cut up. They're already prepped. I always use, nitrile gloves, non-powdered nitrile gloves. Use those gloves, those disposable gloves. That way you can, when you're handling meat, you do what you got to do. Take those gloves off. You're good to go. Wash your hands or put you some hand sanitizer on just to be safe. Utilize what you have or utilize some things that'll help make your time a little bit better and a
lot easier. Yeah.
Have some Clorox wipes or some Lysol wipes with you too. So
safety word of the day, number two.
Safety word. Yeah. I wanted to circle back to appetizers a little bit more about finger foods. Just utilizing things that maybe are kind of off the beaten path. Because I know I've had cream cheese jalapeno with backstrap wrapped around the jalapeno with bacon wrapped around the backstrap. So it's like double wrapped. And then on the barbecue pit. I know there's a lot of deer hunters out there in Louisiana. A lot of our subscribers have this stuff on hand. It was so good. I can't even tell you how good that was. I think that's what it was. I know it was like cream cheese, jalapeno, backstrap, and then bacon. Yep, that's what it was.
Right. They have something that's pretty similar to that in Texas that they call pig shots. And so I guess this would be considered deer shots or so. I guess that's what you would call.
What's a pig shot?
I think it's everything you named with, I forgot what else is in there. I'll have to circle back to that one.
You can't go wrong with any of that.
I know shotgun shells are a popular one too. That's what like the...
Yeah, shotgun shells are made with manicotti, those large manicotti shells. And you make like a meat mixture and stuff it into those manicotti shells, and then you wrap it in bacon and you smoke it. The fat render from the bacon is supposed to kind of cook that manicotti shell. It doesn't work well. I suggest if you're gonna do that, take your manicotti shells, ball them for like 2 minutes, and take them out. These things they're thick. They're gonna keep their shape, and then you stuff them from there. Let them cool down a little bit. Stuff them from there. Then wrap them in bacon. You can do that ahead of time. So parball them ahead of time. Make you a little meat mixture. Just mix up some ground beef and cheese, or even some ground pork and cheese. Stuff them inside the shell. Wrap it up in bacon. Just throw that in the refrigerator. Take that whole pan out with your tailgating. Throw them on the grill for a while. People will be super impressed with that.
That sounds so good.
Yeah, kebabs are also a good thing for tailgating. Kebabs, that's
too.
Easy, easy to prep. Not a lot of prep work on that. Comes out great. So
moving on to more like your mains here. Anything on a bun is gonna work for tailgating.
Oh man, anything.
Doing barbecue, some pulled pork sandwiches, pretty much anything.
You don't want to start that pulled pork at a barbecue because that's going to take way too long.
This is ahead of time thinking.
Right. Yeah. So, right. For things like that, anything on a bun. I mean, you got sausage, fresh sausage, smoked sausage, bratwurst, hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever you want. I mean, that's always a great thing. Great thing for kids too.
Yeah. Hot dogs is always a go-to. Throw you some hot dogs on there, have those ready. Kids start acting up, start saying they're hungry. Throw them a little weenie. Go ahead, go play.
Yeah.
So I actually saw something really interesting today when I was kind of researching a little bit for the podcast. Everybody loves corn dogs. So if we're going to be doing some fried stuff, right, we're going to be doing hot dogs as well. I saw where they actually take a corn dog, fry it up, get it ready, nice and crispy. You split it halfway, like you cut it down the middle. You open it up, and then you put chili and cheese. Like a hot dog.
Okay.
I was like, that's pretty smart.
That can't be bad. Idea.
No.
You
Hey,
what? No,
chili and cornbread go really well together. So I mean,
absolutely.
Right.
I actually took a screenshot of how to do it to show everyone, just because I thought it was such a great idea. I was like, this is genius, even though this picture that shows like some really big beans in their chili. But hang on, let me see if I can get this up for you
Hey,
guys.
look,
you make the chili your way you want to make the chili. Now I got a question though. You keep this
Yeah.
thing on the stick? Oh,
Yes.
okay, all right. Yeah, I need to see how this works because it's not working right in my
Oh, when you
mind.
take the stick out, once you cut it, you pull the stick.
Oh, okay. So you
See?
hold it like a hot dog.
Right.
Okay. I see what's going on.
ooh, that's now look. I like beans in my chili, but when I'm making chili for hot dogs, I don't put any beans in it.
That's a big.
Golly,
That's some
that's a
big
bean?
beans in there.
What kind of where they
Some
built
kidney
where they
beans.
grew those beans at?
Right. That's some big like beans for red beans.
That's some anabolic beans. That's what we were talking about
That's
last
right.
episode.
Right.
Juiced up beans.
That's definitely some.
They let them beans soak way too long.
I can guarantee you that's some
Them-
GMO beans right there.
Hey, yo.
Genetically modified.
Hey yo, they had those beans soaking in creatine.
Yeah. That is definitely some genetically mod. They have spliced the genes of those beans to make
Oh
them
yeah,
huge.
for sure. But nonetheless, I just thought this was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you guys.
Oh, that's a good idea too.
I was trying to keep it a secret. I didn't want to show Brandon before we started.
Yeah,
So-
but I really, and you know, it's a good thing with like fresh sausages. If you're doing like fresh sausage, Italian bratwurst, you know, the myriad of fresh sausages they have in Louisiana. It's always a good idea to boil those beforehand. Like if you boil them the night before and then put them on the grill, you'll get a really good product out of that too. When you boil sausages and then fresh sausages and then grill it, you get a nice crispy skin on it.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
The casing crisps up real well. So I really like that method. I've done that with bratwurst plenty of times. And if you want to be adventurous, put some curry ketchup on that bratwurst.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you will not regret that.
Some little currywursts.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can buy curry ketchup or make it. I make my own, but if you make it ahead of time.
Yep.
That's right.
Make it ahead of time.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it needs to sit in the refrigerator for at least overnight to actually taste like something.
So what are some of your favorite fried items for tailgating?
Hey, wings are always good.
Wings.
Chicken tenders are also all pretty good too. That's another good thing to do. Those are advantage to that fast cooking, you know, because it's all white meat, no bone. Chicken tenders cook up really quick. You can cook those in probably 4 or 5 minutes.
Boy, you better get them
Yeah.
dino nuggets for them kids. Straight out the bag.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
Them dino nuggets. I'm gonna tell you like this. If you want to do some fried chicken, like some fried chicken tenders, do them yourself. You gonna pay way less money. All right, here's where the controversy comes in and at, right? This is stirring the pot. I like Cane's. Okay, I'm a Cane's fan. I do like Cane's chicken fingers, but I'm not paying $150 for them to give me a couple of pans of chicken fingers when I can fry that myself. And I'm just gonna go and get. So if y'all don't know this, you can actually go to Cane's and get a 20 or a 32 ounce of their Cane's sauce, which is the whole point of going to Cane's. All right, besides the garlic bread, that's the whole point of going to Cane's.
Right.
Go there, get you a 32 ounce of cane sauce. Just ask for it. They're going to give it to you. Fry your own chicken fingers and dip that in that.
There you go.
Done.
That's a great tip right there.
Or
But
you can make it yourself.
this is true.
yeah.
But yeah, we're trying to cut down on doing. We're trying to do
Right.
less prep.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
More,
on your way.
more party, less prep.
Mhm.
Right?
And Cane's is starting to become worldwide now. Like they're
Oh,
they're
yeah,
really
yeah.
in a lot of different places. So
They're all over the place.
yeah, it's not
Absolutely.
just the South. So there's the other places. Y'all might have, if you're listening to this and you're not in the southern region and you don't have a Cane's near you, there's Zaxby's. I know there's
Mhm.
Zaxby's. They got good
Mhm.
sauce too. But
Mhm.
same scenario. Go get you some sauce, fry your
And
stuff yourself.
I think there's a Cane's in Dubai or something like that. So they've gone international.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
One love.
Fried chicken. Fun fact. Fried chicken is really popular in the Middle East. So
It's popular all over the damn world.
true, yeah. But one of my friends from he's from Bangladesh, man. He said You know, when they take girls out on dates, they take them to a nice restaurant. They take them to KFC. It's serious.
Is that a joke?
No, not at all. 100% true.
Man.
Wow.
Man, oh, you splurged on. We're going to KFC.
Wow. Yeah, that's no.
I have nothing.
Right.
to contribute to that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to KFC just when I don't, at
There's
any point
Popeye-
in time. I don't want to go
There's
to KFC.
Popeyes, dude. There's why I go to KFC when there's Popeyes. Popeyes is better.
Right.
It is, and then there's churches.
It's all about right. Churches got them honey butter biscuits though.
Mm-hmm.
Popeyes biscuits, they could kill you. Literally.
THICCC.
Yeah, just make sure you have a cup
And
of water
dense.
next to.
That'll get stuck in the pipe. You gotta be careful with them biscuits. They locked and loaded.
I'm being choked. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
moving along.
I saw that on the internet. It was a joke.
Yeah. I saw another good thing to do would be egg rolls too. You can buy pre-made egg rolls. You can make your own. Making egg rolls is super easy. That's such an easy thing to do.
You cannot get easier than making your own egg rolls. Like the possibilities are pretty much endless with egg rolls.
They're super easy to make, and they're
It's
delicious.
one of those things that sound intimidating just because you look at it and it's like, okay, it's an egg roll, but it's really the simplest thing you can do.
It really is.
Make your own filling.
You can put anything in an egg roll wrapper, pretty much.
Yep.
I mean,
egg roll wrappers. Same thing with wontons. You can do the same
Yep.
thing with wontons. You can make throw some filling in there, make a little meat mixture, and kind of fold your corners, and then
That's all it is.
toss it in the fryers. I mean, all of that stuff looks difficult and it looks fancy, but it's just super simple to make.
Right. Oh yeah,
So-
absolutely.
earlier this year for Barbecue Brands barbecue competition in Bro Bridge, Brandon D made some crawfish and corn egg rolls, and y'all, they was hitting.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't know if everybody's watching this on YouTube right now, or if y'all are watching this or listening to this on a different platform, but y'all can't see my face right now, and y'all don't understand how I feel when she brings that up, because this was one of the best things I ever ate in my life. And what did you make? What sauce did you make to dip? Was that your homemade remoulade? He made a homemade remoulade sauce.
That was for the fried shrimp, but it worked on both.
Colder. It worked on it. I put everything in there. I put toes in there. I put everything. It was there's no remoulade that you have had anywhere that tastes better than this. I promise you.
Hands down.
I was hurting myself on eating this stuff that he was making.
I think I seen you scoop some in a spoon and taste it like you was eating some soup.
Yeah, that's it.
No judgment from me.
I sung to it.
Yeah. I don't like to build myself up too much, but that was a pretty good idea. So I made what basically was like a equivalent of like a corn mock shoe, which is like the Cajun equivalent of cream corn. That's all it is. It's got onions and peppers in it, and then I mixed crawfish and cheese in it and seasoned it up and put it in the egg roll, and it came out pretty. It was real solid.
Oh, it was incredible. I took that. I was so happy. Like, I wanted to give you a hug when you gave me those leftovers and you said I could have them. I put that in a bag. I put that in a bag and froze it. And when I tell you I made that, I took it out of the freezer and made it for my family when they came over for one weekend. Yeah, they felt like I felt. We had that same moment all over again.
Awesome, man. Yeah. It's really, really good. It's a really good, and it wasn't very difficult to make either. I used frozen corn. I didn't even use fresh corn. Just frozen corn. Just cooked it really well. It's really corn mock shoe is really it's a cream corn, but it's a caramelized cream corn. So you cook it down, cook the corn down to where it gets a nice golden brown color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had your
good.
And crawfish and corn go really well together.
They are friends.
Mm-hmm.
They are really close friends.
And cheese works with crawfish. Many seafood, many shellfish don't. I mean, imagine this. I make you like some oysters with like some put oysters in there. It wouldn't make any sense. The cheese would just wipe everything out. But crawfish actually stands up to cheese really well.
Mm-hmm.
What that lady said? If it ain't cheesy, it ain't gonna slide down easy.
No, that's right. That might have to make a video with that one too. It's a pretty good recipe.
It's pretty
But
good is an understatement.
Right. Anything in an egg roll or wonton wrapper, just get creative with it. Like put some brisket in there.
Just rotisserie chicken. I
mean, rotisserie chicken.
Season that up with a little soy sauce or something, and just like some a little bit of vegetable in there. And you can make egg rolls. You can make them ahead of time and freeze them, and then drop them in the fryer, just straight frozen, and they come out.
You sure can.
Yep. There you go, planning ahead.
Right, because
getting that prep work in.
The mixture inside an egg roll is not real tight or dense, so it cooks really fast.
So, as far as we're talking barbecue and smoked meats for tailgating, what are y'all favorite meats to do for tailgating besides hamburger?
Yeah, for tailgating, you don't want it depends on how long you're there. So that all goes into planning as well. So you got to figure out, okay, what time is the game? What time do we need to be in the stadium?
Right.
What time do we need to start cleaning up? And it goes back to that backwards planning that you were talking about.
Right.
You have to figure all of those things in. So then you have to come up with a time. Okay, when do I need this food to be done by so that we can start eating? Then you have your window of how long you have to cook. So if it's a night game, that's usually best case scenario for you to smoke something. Because usually, let's say the night game is at 6:30. If it's a college game, you might want to get into the stadium around 5:30, 5:45 or something along those lines. Then, you may want to eat around 2, 3 o'clock. And then you may get you a little snack while you're in the stadium. So that may give you, 5 hours or so. If you get out there real early, 5, 6 hours for you to smoke something and then be done with it. You're not going to be able to do a brisket unless you're cooking it hot and fast. Not many people know how to do that unless you're in competition world. Same thing with pulled pork. You may want to cook those things ahead of time. Ribs, you can absolutely get that done. Chicken, you can get that done. Some other smaller cuts of beef. Lollipops.
Tri-tip is a good one.
Barbecue Brandon's, I've said this before, Barbecue Brandon has this video up on his website, those lollipops. That is the perfect tailgating item.
Such a cool little presentation on them. It's so easy too. It's so easy to do. So
you can do something out of the box too. Like tri-tip cooks really fast.
Tri-tip that's basically tri-tip cooks like a doggone steak.
Right.
It just takes you a little bit longer to get to that internal temperature. You can cook a tri-tip. You could even cook a chuck roast. Because chuck roast is small enough for you to get some smoke on it, then wrap it up and finish it. And you have options out there, but a lot of times for tailgating, you're doing more grilling than you're doing smoking. Unless you're smoking ahead of time.
Hey, look, fajitas, super easy, super easy to cook, very very quick cook. I mean, what skirt steak takes like 8, 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most to cook if you're doing like a real thick big cut. But fajitas are a great option for tailgating.
Yeah.
Not a lot of prep. There's
fast.
There's tortillas, meat, and some onions and peppers. It doesn't get easier. It's a guacamole.
Right. You making essentially a taco, but not the crunchy kind.
Right.
Tacos. That's another easy thing to do. You can crank out some tacos.
Right. And look, skip the lettuce on the fajitas, man. Fajitas don't have lettuce. It's meat, onions and peppers, guacamole, and a little bit of sour cream and some pico if you want. That's it.
Some cheese. Don't forget that cheese ball.
You put cheese on it too. There you go. But like lettuce is not needed on a fajita.
No, I hope. Who's putting lettuce on their fajitas?
No one should. You should not put lettuce on a fajita.
Hey B, listen real close. White people.
Oh. Now it's people that and I'm telling you, people think that, oh man, I'm gonna make this healthy by putting some lettuce on. I'm like, I don't think so, man. I think it's the same.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't like lettuce on hot food or hot tacos because I feel that it gets slimy. And
it doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up to
exactly.
that. I mean, unless you're doing like like cabbage, but even
Right.
even cabbage can be too crunchy sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's
Like
got to be sliced
whenever,
real thin.
Real
real
fine.
thin. And then like if I'm making, I love cabbage on like pulled pork sliders,
Yes.
Yeah.
but I'll
Yes.
even roast that cabbage, a little bit,
Or make a slaw out of it, something to kind of
make a
Yeah.
slaw,
soften it up a little bit.
but
Yeah.
still you
I
got to
agree.
chop it fine,
You don't want a textural contrast with your food that much. If it just some things just don't work. You don't want to, especially with a taco. You don't want anything stringy when you're trying to
Yeah.
bite through, and then you're pulling out half your filling from your taco.
Right. A lot of people mess that up. A lot of
Oh
people
yeah.
don't do it. Get soft tortillas, not the crunchy one, not crunchy
Mhm.
taco shells, because that's just gonna break on your way over there. Don't do it.
Nah, soft.
Keep that for white people taco night at your house with the Ortega shells.
The Ortega shells,
Oh man.
man. Sometimes you
White
open
people
up.
taco night.
I'm not even talking because I'm gonna let the white person rat shit the white people. I'm just gonna stay out of this.
No video. White people taco
Oh
night.
yes, I have.
Oh man, I used to love those type of tacos. There's not only white people that make that. There's people that don't anything about Mexican food make those kind of tacos.
What used to make me mad? You're having taco night and you get those shells out and you pull those shells out of that little Michael Jackson shiny package and half of them broke.
Oh,
Well, that make you cuss.
yeah.
That's when it becomes taco salad night.
Yeah.
So let's move on to desserts. What are some great desserts to bring to tailgating?
Anything that's pre-made,
Pre-made.
pre-made and no refrigeration. This is tailgating. You wanna get there, unpack, cook what you need to cook,
Mm-hmm.
and then set out the rest of it. So get you some nice folding tables, make you a little dessert table, some brownies, some cookies. All excellent choices for tailgating. Nothing that you want to refrigerate.
No, let me tell you. Let me tell you exactly what you do. If you want dessert at your tailgate, holla at KCP. She has a company called La Sharp Breadery. She will make you some of the best cookies you ever had in your life. You bring them over there, impress your peoples, have a good time.
Absolutely.
Done deal, done data.
Yes. I
There's-
can definitely whip up some great cookies for you guys and make them cute too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of those cookies, they're so pretty, but they just don't taste good. Mine, they taste good and they're pretty.
Make some killer blondies too.
Oh,
Blonde. For those of you who do not know what a blondie is, it's like a brownie, but without the chocolate. So it's like a vanilla, dark brown sugar flavored pastry from heaven.
Right.
You talking that after dark stuff again?
Yeah. Texture of a brownie, but vanilla flavored. So it's got the same texture of a brownie, just tastes like vanilla. It's really good.
I can already tell you somebody's gonna stitch this and make a compilation video with all of the faces that I make after y'all talk about food. I love food, y'all. I'm a fat boy at heart.
I have a little something to show you guys, just some little ideas that I found for some little dessert ideas. All right, so we have football themed cookies. We have football themed whoopie pies. I'm not sure if anybody knows what a whoopie pie is, but it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like a devil's food, kind of a cakey cookie with like this marshmallow cream center. So these are just really cute. I thought these were just to show everybody. Just little ideas.
Always good to
Also-
stay on theme.
Absolutely. Here's some like kind of dip platters. We got some little Nutter Butters to dip in some chocolate sauce. Just something cute. Just be creative because it's, food is always better when it's pretty too, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just
And-
want to just do something simple, nothing too complicated, keeps well, and these ideas are really perfect.
And I mean, who doesn't like chocolate covered strawberries?
They're
I mean-
delicious. I never
I
seen
love
them
them.
painted like footballs before, so that's pretty creative.
Isn't that cute?
That's
And
something
then you
new.
have dipped Nutter Butters on a stick that look like a football too. Just
Okay.
some cute.
Okay, so here's another thing to keep in mind too is the time of year that you're tailgating. If it's at the
This is
beginning of football season, it
Hot.
might be a little hot. That
Right.
chocolate might run off the table.
This is true.
Yeah, and
So,
also a good tailgating. Quickly slide back into mains. If it's cold outside, there's nothing wrong with a good chili for a tailgate.
well, yeah, for
Mm.
sure.
Easy to do. Serves a lot of people for not a lot of money. Some Fritos and some cheese, and you good to go.
Love a good chili. We've smashed
Oh,
some bowls of gumbo at tailgates too. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah,
ain't nothing wrong
absolutely.
with that.
this is true. We got that electricity for them crock pots. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and I mean, you talked about chili. Don't forget about Frito pie in the bag.
That's true. For anybody that doesn't know, Frito pie is basically you just open a bag of Fritos, put some chili in, some cheese, some onions, and some jalapenos, and
Why hit harder in the bag though? It do, don't
Got
it?
all that grease. It's got all that grease inside
Nothing. Yeah,
the bag.
something about it.
let me tell you, if you're making Frito pies and your chili does not have the red grease, it's not going to hit as good hard. It's got to have that red grease floating on the top.
Oh yeah.
Like
Right.
Oh yeah. That essence.
If you're not giving kids heartburn, you're not doing it right. Going back to desserts, anything pre-made, pre-bought, just pick it up at the grocery store. All of these items are great. You can't go wrong with any of that stuff.
that's
If you want to get extra fancy and make it yourself, that's fine too. It's whatever you have time for, whatever you're willing to prep ahead of time for. If dessert is the last thing on your list, pick it up at the store.
Hey,
there you go.
The name of my company, you see right behind me, Home Grill Advantage, right? Home Grill Advantage is all about, when you're tailgating at home, then, you have a little bit more accessibility to the normal things that you're used to cooking with.
Right.
You're going to go all out, at home. You're going to do a little bit more, but when you go out to the tailgate site, just do your prepping, do your planning, and then, just make it happen. Don't do too much.
You want to have fun too. You don't want to be the person slaving over cooking everything, and by the time you get to it, it's like you eat, and it's like, oh, it's time to go to the game. It's like, well, I didn't enjoy much in my tailgating experience.
Exactly.
And I've been in that position where I've done all the cooking, and by the time I was done, I was like, I didn't get into the game till halftime.
Exactly.
Right.
I want to open the lid of my ice chest more than I open the lid of this grill. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Correct.
That's how we doing that.
Perfect segue into the next part of this is the spirits of tailgating. What are you drinking? What are we making? We doing shots? Are we doing Jello shots? What are we doing?
Well, if you're prepping ahead of time, you can make Jello shots. But always great options are beers, anything in a bottle that you can just pop open and not mix and just keep it on ice. And I think everybody's happy with that. There's also a thing I learned for some Aggies. This sounds weird, but it's delicious. Fireball lemonade.
Yeah.
Fireball lemonade.
I mean, like a margarita with crushed ice, but it's Fireball and that just Minute Maid lemonade.
Okay, yeah, I need to.
Fireball whiskey and pre-made lemonade.
It's actually pretty good.
I have lived long enough to not knock something before I try it, so
yeah,
I need to taste that first.
Yeah,
before
because I
had
judgment. That same look that you just had when they said that to me, and I was like, I'll try it. Delicious. Those two things don't sound like they would go together, but they do.
No, at all. But that's a good point though. Is that if you are like mixing some stuff, keep that simple too. 2-3 ingredients max. You don't want to be. You don't want to be out there making old fashions and stuff at the tailgate.
Muddling up your
Manhattan. Who wants a French 75? No. We're not doing all of that. We're not doing that.
Hey, give me a sidecar, man. No, but margaritas and daiquiris are also good options as well.
Right, all pre-mixed items.
Get some They make some really good pre-mixed margaritas. And if you want to go simple with margaritas, all it is it's orange juice and lime juice. I mean, that's it.
Hands down. Let me just tell y'all something. If y'all don't know this, go to Costco. Costco's brand of pre-made margarita mix is to die for. It is so good. I've had it quite a few times. A barbecue brand. That's like their house wine. That's that margarita mix.
Fire, son.
Right.
Let me tell you. Yeah, that
It
stuff
gets
is
you right.
good.
It'll get you right.
That's a great pre-mix drink to take with you. Those
Yeah, so
those
yeah,
Costco
don't.
margaritas are great.
Oh yes,
It's tailgating. You know, it doesn't have to be fancy. It has
right.
to be convenient.
That's it. That's
That's
the
right.
key here. It has to be convenient.
Yep.
Make it easy. You're there to have a good time too. Remember that.
Right.
So yeah. So on to part 3. Let's talk about this cleanup. What are some
Trash bags. Contractor grade black trash bags.
Yep. Go to Lowe's. We did not plan that either, people. No. Trust me. We've done this enough together.
Yeah.
You know, I consider our competitions that I do just like tailgating, and you just,
exactly.
you know, the prep is the same, the cleanup is the same, maybe a little bit more for that, but yeah, you got to have those trash bags. Get you some of those contractor trash bags, those heavy thick meal trash bags, the ones that you can't punch through. Like you gotta really want to get through one of those bags. So get you some of those. Make sure you keep some of those on hand. Another thing, foil. Costco just needs to go ahead and sponsor us at this point because Costco has this, what I think 500 or 750 square feet of like large, heavy duty aluminum foil. Take foil with you. Use foil for everything. Use disposable pans. The more you use the disposable stuff, you can just throw that stuff away. Cleanup is going to be super simple, super easy, super fast.
And let me give y'all a tip. This is a very good tip that I've learned. Always have a bag of gallon Ziplocs around. Have a box because you're always going to need Ziplocs.
Correct.
You don't have to bring Tupperware for your leftovers. Just put it in some Ziplocs.
Facts.
Yes, that's a great idea.
All right, B, what did I just put y'all on to? What's another disposable item?
This is great. Disposable cutting boards.
Yes,
fantastic.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Because I have spent way too much time at competitions, rodeo, my house, washing cutting boards. That's just the most. And the ones that I have are huge. I mean, when we're doing like pig roast or something, I mean, massive, massive cutting boards. Cleaning this stuff when it's got a bunch of pig grease on it, it is not easy to get that stuff off. So disposable cutting board is one of the best things I've seen. Cut it, take it, and chunk it. You know, it's great.
It's so good. It's one of the best things that entered my lives whenever it came to cooking, because it's thick enough to where you're not going to cut through it, but it's pliable enough to where you can just fold that thing up and it takes up no space in the garbage bag. So get you some disposable cutting boards. You can get them online. I get mine from Academy. I think they come 30 cutting boards to a box, and it's like $20, $24, something like that.
Worth it.
So
absolutely
worth it.
Worth it. Because if you have never cleaned a cutting board saturated with beef grease, you know, that'll change your mind real quick. It's really a lot of work when you have to do that, and you have to use extremely hot water, and you're not going to have that at a tailgate.
So what about fire safety, like disposing of the leftover remnants of your barbecues?
I'd suggest keeping like a galvanized metal bucket. You can dump ash in there, and then you can just dump water in there and just put it out. No problems with that. Mixing it around, dumping it in your trash can, and you're all good to go. Mm-hmm. So you really want to be careful, because like a lot of people, you have all this charcoal in these pits. These pits are going to be hot when you're trying to move them. So you're going to have to clean charcoal out. So get you like a metal dustpan or something like that. A metal utensil to scrape the charcoal in, put it in a fireproof bucket, a metal bucket, and then just douse it with water, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's a great point. I always talk about using good quality charcoal whenever you're smoking for a long period of time or grilling. And I'm a big proponent for using lump charcoal, like natural lump charcoal, because you can reuse that charcoal. You can put it out and reuse it for the next time if you don't use it all in one cook. We are not talking about that for tailgating. We are talking about using what you can get, what you have on hand, what you can get your hands on, and don't worry about that. You also need to think about time, because we have had too many issues with people are setting vehicles on fire. Things are blowing up. This is crazy. Okay, so I want you to think, everybody out there that's listening right now, I want you to think of you lighting your pit. And I want you to think of it as a bell curve. All right. You have a starting point, and then it goes up, and you have peak performance. This is the hottest point of your barbecue pit. This is the hottest your pit is going to get, right? And then it's going to start to dip down, and then you're going to be good in the safe zone. It's going to take a while for you to get to that peak point. Plan out your day, figure out when you need to put meat on, when you need to start cooking, and then start your pit early. Start it early. That way you can get your food on whenever your pit starts to get to temp. And then you can start to hit that decline in temperature whenever it's getting close for you to start putting things up. Then you can handle all of these coals a little safer. So we're putting these coals out completely before we putting this back in vehicles. All right. We're not doing this no more. Just take those coals out, use a galvanized metal bucket like Brandon was saying, douse that with water as much as possible. That way you can dispose of it properly, because these pits that staying hot, you're trying to like rush food out, and these pits are still hot whenever you're putting them back in your vehicle, trying to rush to get into the stadium. That's crazy. Get your pit hot early, cook your food, let it come down in temperature. If it starts getting a little close to the time where you need to leave, hit it with water, put it out complete.
Do not throw it in the dumpster.
Nope.
No.
That's
you trading fire from one place to another.
Literal dumpster fire.
I have put one out myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're using one of them park grills.
Oh Lord. I just leave. Hey, it's bolted to the cement. Just leave it out there.
So, with that being said,
Oh wait, before that, we want to talk about, if you do fry, disposing of used oil.
Oh,
because that's a big thing. So when you're disposing of used oil, you always want to make sure that you have a container that you can seal up to dispose that used oil in, and you can close it up so it's not spilling all over the place. The thing is, you have to let that oil come down in temperature if you're putting it in anything plastic. If you want to dump it, like I say, like a metal bucket's always a good thing to have around. You can make sure it can hold way more than your fryer can, and that way you can set it off to the side and let it cool outside of your cooking equipment.
Yeah. Fry early. Let that oil
fry
come
early.
down.
Yeah. And usually the outdoor fryers have a nice valve on it where you can dump out the oil real quick. But they generally oil cool down pretty quick. I mean, because once you cut the heat source, it's just going to start losing heat.
With that being said, let me go to my little end quote. This quote is an Irish proverb, actually. Laughter is brightest in the place where food is good. So I want to thank you guys for joining us again. We want you to like, subscribe, comment, do all those things for us. And keep stirring the pot.
Later, guys.
Later.
Peace.